Hey everyone, this is Kyle Hackney from Hack Attack Fitness, coming to you live from my 2005 Ford Focus. I just was kind of bored driving along here on the highway, and I just thought, yeah, I'll make a vlog, why not? I'm actually going to do a short little rant on something I get asked about a lot by clients and people in general. I see a lot on forums, whatever. And that is the question of supplements, like non-illegal supplements, like you go to GNC and buy them supplements, or hopefully you don't go to GNC and buy them supplements. I actually like, GNC doesn't carry like bad products, I just think they're overpriced. Shout out to Tiger Fitness. But here's the thing. When it comes down to supplements, what you need, not a lot. Like, we're talking maybe a good protein powder, maybe some fish oil, and I guess I'd put creatine monohydrate under need, because it's so fucking cheap that if you don't buy it, you're probably wasting more money long term. The thing about it is, when it comes to supplements, there's actually very, very few things that are tried and true and tested. You know, you got whey, you got casein, fish oil's pretty good, you got, creatine monohydrate, beta-alanine, caffeine, ephedrine, yohimbine, or yohimbine, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and like one or two other things, but most things, like when you see like Garcinia cambogia or whatever the fuck it's called, or you see like different weird roots and stuff, most of these things are just a placebo effect, a very, very expensive placebo effect, if that. Because honestly, you're just not going to get a lot out of most of these things. And they'll say, like, oh, well, in clinical trials. And then you say, like, well, wait, what trials? And they say, like, oh, well, it's an in-house study. And you're like, what an in-house study means. An in-house study is when a company funds a study on one of its products. Huh. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm getting paid by a company to do a study on one of its products, I'm gonna probably say some good things about that product, no matter what the study says. I will find a way to lie with statistics and give that product a good rep. Now, there are some examples of people who sort of give a very honest man's self-study, like the Tiger Fitness, the Mark Lobliner, when he was still head of Scivation, did that BCAA study with Extend. That was a pretty good one. I think it was Jim Stepani was the head researcher on that. That's an example of a good in-house study, but those are a lot more rare than the companies who just want some way to say they have the next big thing. Whether that's like adding on 6 fucking, prefixes to leucine, like the amino acid, or whether it's, that's another thing I like, by the way, I like a lot, BCAAs, or if it's like making some other form of creatine hydrochloride, by the way, whether it's, it's just switching something up, or whether it's calling, caffeine by its chemical name. Companies always want to find a way to use head games to try to make you buy their product. It is not a good thing, it's not a bad thing, it's just capitalism at work. And if you buy it, the phrase is caveat emptor, buyer beware. If you want to know what a supplement is, or what goes into a supplement, or whether or not a given ingredient even works, or whether it's even been looked at outside of rats, or even in rats, or outside of cell cultures, then you need to go on and research it. You need to do your due diligence. This isn't hard. You don't have to like go crawl through PubMed like I do. You can go to examine.com. Examine.com is a wonderful resource that I use all the time. It is a great way to get the summary of an ingredient and what it does and where it's been tested, what it's been tested in, how long they tested it for, and were there any results. And they're very unbiased about what they say. And it's one of the resources I most highly recommend to everyone. Everyone who is serious about fitness and supplementation. But the thing about it is, when it comes down to supplements that I'm willing to spend money on, the basics are best. I mean, creatine's got 800 studies on it. Almost all of them are on monohydrate, except for the ones that say stuff like crealkaline and creatine ethyl ester are worse than monohydrate. Beta-alanine's got a good chunk of research on it. Whey protein has a good chunk of research on it. BCAAs have a good chunk of research on them. But, besides that, most of these things, caffeine too, and ephedrine, most of these things are pretty hit or miss. And you have to find out at the end of the day if something is worth it for yourself. You have to, if you're going to go and spend as much time as we do, as people, as athletes, as fitness enthusiasts in the gym, because we go and we take the time to go and lift heavy-ass weight and do our cardio every day, day in, day out, and you're telling me that you're willing to go through that amount of trauma, but you can't go and look up a 10-page article on what a supplement does and what the effective dose of something is? It just boggles my mind. Why wouldn't you go look something up if you're going to put it into your body anyways? I mean, you're going to go and sit here and look up new routines and new ways to isolate your pecs or, superset for your fucking chest workouts for 2 hours. You'll look that stuff up, but you won't go look up proper dosing for creatine. Okay, why? If you're gonna devote the time to it, you might as well go the extra half a step in the mile, the half a step at the end, and just find out that kind of information. And at the end of the day, I mean, supplements are gonna fall very, very short of anything else. If you're trying to cut, I don't care how much yohimbine you take, I don't care how much caffeine and ephedrine you take, I don't care how much clen you take, I don't care how much of anything you take. If you're not in a calorie deficit, you're not in a calorie deficit. If you're not, that's just, I mean, I don't care if you eat 1,200 meals a day, or you eat 1 meal a day, or you intermittent fast, or if it fits your macros, you bro out every 2 or 3 hours with chicken and rice. You're not in a calorie deficit, you're not in a calorie deficit. And that's going to be the biggest factor. So supplementation is just that. It is supplementation. It is that little extra that can really help if everything else is on point. But everything else has to be on point first. You can't just go in and expect supplements to do the work, or drugs, or anything. You have to put the work in first. If you put the work in, and then you add those on top of it, you're going to have a good-ass cut or a good-ass bulk, and you are going to get big and strong, or you're going to get shredded and lean. But you got to put the work in first. Don't expect supplements to do the work for you. And so that being said, it's just a short little rant I wanted to give on supplementation, what my thoughts on it were, and just how I sort of feel about what needs to be in a supplement, what needs to be in your supplementation regimen, and what you can probably just leave out. So you got whey, casein, creatine, BCAAs, beta-alanine, caffeine, ephedrine, and anything else, give it a shot. Maybe it does something for you, maybe it doesn't. Besides that, you're in a pretty good place if you have those on point. And everything else is going to come down to calories in, calories out, and getting adequate protein in. So, just keep that in mind on this goal, on this journey, rather. That it is a journey, and it's not a sprint. That gets thrown around so much, and it's really kind of funny to me that we say it's not a sprint, because everyone nowadays loves high-intensity interval training, but it's not a sprint. It's true. It is a long-ass process, even if you're you know, already in a better place than most, it's still a long-ass process to make major changes. So, this is Kyle Hackney from Hack Attack Fitness signing off. I hope you enjoyed this rant. If you liked it, click that there like button or subscribe, and subscribe to the channel rather. And I hope to see you in my next video. Peace out, homies.